Okay. Welcome to the Personnel Commission meeting of August 3rd. It is 5:31 and 52 seconds. And we bring this meeting to order. Can we do the roll call?
Yes. Commissioner Cummins,
Present.
Commissioner Nita Eddie Mitchell,
Present.
Commissioner Haro, present. Commissioner Danny Mitchell,
Present.
and for the record, Commissioner Sharpie Sand, who is absent today, she wasn't feeling well.
Okay, can we look the report on posting the agenda?
The agenda was posted on Friday, August 3rd, 2026. Oh, sorry, that's today. The agenda was posted on Friday, July 31st, 2026 at 2:19 p.m.
Totally legal.
And for the record, this is a special meeting of the Personnel Commission.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Because we couldn't meet on the 27th due to the council meeting, so we're meeting tonight instead.
Yes. All right, who gets the honor of introducing Mr. Horton?
I will take that honor. So happy about it. So tonight we have our new Human Resources Director, Risk Manager, Michael Horta here. He joined the city of Gilroy on Monday, July 6th. And we have been cross-training since that time. And I am slowly, exiting away with just a couple things left on the list, and Michael has taken over. Michael comes to us with a lot of human resources and risk management experience in the public sector, which he will definitely put to use here in this job. It's never a dull moment, right, Michael? And there's always, something happening. So Michael, has been very active in the public sector human resources space, very involved with the League of California Cities, the California Public Employee Relations Association, and that coupled with his experience has set him up nicely to transition into this role. I think he's enjoying it. He still has a smile on his face when he's here, and he hasn't yelled at me yet, so it's all good. So Michael, welcome, and if you want to take a minute and say anything you'd like to say about yourself.
So I'm super excited to be here. As I mentioned, I have about 20 years experience in HR. So I'm coming back. I worked here previously, if you didn't know. So I worked here for a little over 4 years. My first time around, went to City of Morgan Hill, HR director there. But really excited to be back. I'm excited to work with our employees, but also very excited to work with all of you and the Personnel Commission and see what fun stuff we can accomplish here. So thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think on behalf of our board, we'd love to welcome you, and you do, I think she raised you right, and we're just glad to have you back here. So
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you for that. Appreciate it.
Okay. All right. Public comment by members of the public on items not on the agenda, but within the subject matter jurisdiction of the Personnel Commission. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes. This portion of the meeting is reserved for persons desiring to address the commission on matters not on the agenda. The law does not permit commission action or extended discussion of any items not on the agenda, except under special circumstances. If commission action is requested, the commission may place the matter on a future agenda. So do we have people here?
Someone
Obviously.
address the commission this evening.
Greg Filios, I'm with the Parks and Recreation Commission. This is my liaison with the city, our Public Works Director, John Doty. So he's in charge. So I'm just helping out. So say what I think. This Wednesday, the Recreation Department, as you understand, I don't know if you understand, we don't have a Parks and Recreation Department. We have a Recreation Department. We have a Parks and Recreation Commission, which works very closely with the Recreation Department, but you'll see a good many cities have Parks and Recreation Department. Ours is just a Recreation Department. Well, here's the
Parks is part of Public Works.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. That's why, and we're very fortunate. But anyway, other cities have a different setup. But anyway, this Wednesday, the Recreation Department is having an assessment. They have a morning assessment, and people can come in from 9 to 10, and then in the evening 6 to 7. And so what they're gonna be doing is they're gonna be assessing recreation facilities here and what people want, what people think we need. The reason I am addressing this now is because with all this, with this assessment, there may be programs coming up, and it would be, it might be a good idea to somehow get some money for some more recreation personnel, interns, or even program directors, and again, depending on how much we're going to take in. Right now, we have Adam Henning, and Adam Henning is great, and he's got some people working with him, but he could use more, and so this may come up in front of you. And I'm not sure what would come up. So what I'm doing is, because we're going to be watching, because we're going to work closely with the recreation department because they deal with our parks. So I just wanted to let you guys know that. So you guys aren't surprised, going, wait, hey, when did this come up? With this assessment coming this Wednesday, there may be an idea of bringing in more people. So be ready to talk about, oh, maybe we can use some money to get some for these people. Since I'm on the subject of getting more people, our police department, the fire department's getting some funding, but our police department is still, we still have our staffing is still below. We have the same staffing as we did 2008. Same 69. We had 69 officers in 2008. We have 69 officers now.
Staffing levels, though, are not in the purview of the commission.
Oh, it is.
That's a city council decision.
Oh, city council.
City council decision at the budget and personnel allocations.
Oh, okay.
So
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Phone you to our public
Oh,
comment.
okay, right, I'm
On the subject matter jurisdiction of the commission.
okay. Well, they may be talking to you about it anyway. So I just thought I'd throw that in. So again, anything where people are going to be employed by the city of Gilroy in some way, somehow it's going to probably swing by you guys. So
Can you remind me again who's doing this assessment?
recreation department.
They've hired a consultant to
Yeah.
complete the assessment. I don't know off the top of my head the name of the consulting company, but they are having in-person meetings, and there's also a survey online that the members of the public can complete and submit their feedback. And
Okay.
then they're gonna gather all that feedback and consider that as part of the overall assessment report that's then gonna get presented
Okay.
to the city council. That's not, that
Gotcha.
assessment report's not coming back to this commission, it's going to the council.
Yeah.
But I think if I'm understanding correctly, the reason why you're wanting us to know is that depending on what's recommended by the city council and what the city council approves, the hope is that more staff can be allocated and potentially changes in positions or new titles for the recreation department, at which point it would funnel through this commission. Okay,
That's right.
It would take those other steps.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
But the
That's
assessment
smart.
itself.
yes.
Yeah.
If you think it's more
Yeah.
people or
We have to be careful. We can't really go into a dialogue. Are you completed with your public comment?
it-
Okay.
correct.
Very well. Thank you so much for
Thank you.
coming, and we'll
Thank you.
certainly
Thank you.
take it under advisement. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Mhm.
We just have to make sure we follow.
Yeah.
The laws regarding public comment.
Yeah, we only have 3 minutes, so we need to, did everyone have a chance to read the minutes from our last meeting? Any, corrections or comments, or looked okay to me? It was a pretty, straightforward meeting. So can we get approval of the minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes for the special meeting.
Thank you, Marissa. Second?
I'll second.
Okay. Okay, the minutes, are-
All in favor?
all in favor? Aye,
Aye.
sorry.
Anyone opposed?
Okay. All right, Human Resources Directors.
I'll hand it over to your new human resources director.
For Human Resources Director report, we do have, our Health and Wellness Fair is coming up on September 17th, so that is benefits, fair for our current employees that are hired here. So we've hired we have invite vendors from our community to come in along with our healthcare providers to write information to our employees for that time frame. So we have that happening. We also are doing our city barbecue for our employees coming up at the end of the month. I believe it's September 3rd. So that's happening for our employees as well. So we have those two big events coming up. Open enrollment starts for us. So that's kind of paired in with the health fair. So open enrollment starts in September, ends in mid-September, ends in October. So we'll be having that event, or not event, but open enrollment happening for all of our employees so they can make their changes for medical plans, dental plans, all of that good stuff, and get enrolled for that. So those are the three major things that are happening with us. But that's it. Yeah, right now.
And at the barbecue, we recognize milestone years of service, 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20, you know, all the way up to sometimes 35 and 40
Yes.
years. So,
But you don't need any of our support for that.
no, we're just letting you
Yeah,
know
just
that
letting-
we're having fun things where we celebrate our.
Employees.
Awesome. Okay. So the recruitment and employment status report.
Yeah, so in your packet, we have the recruitment and employment status report. Page 1 lists the items that are currently in recruitment right now, where we're taking in applications or getting ready to post a new flyer. And then starting on the bottom of page 2 to the top, bottom of page 1, going to the top of page 2, are recruitments that are in process. Beyond just taking in applications, candidates are in background check or final pre-hire steps, or something along those lines. And then middle of page 2 are new hires that we had since your last meeting. So we picked up from the beginning of July to just before this meeting to update that information. And then on the bottom of page 2, going on to page 3, we have a few separations that we're reporting as well. So I'm happy to answer any questions on anything that's on this report.
Any comments or questions? Pretty straightforward. Doesn't look like we had too many people leave, so that's good. All right, then we'll go to the organization charts.
Yeah, so included in your packet are the most current organization charts. We know that there's some few changes here and there that are currently in process or things that are happening, but these are the most current ones. The first chart in the report is kind of the whole administration of the city, who's in city administration, and then how the city administrator oversees all the different departments in the city. And then it goes on to drill down into each individual department. So the more details included there, so you can kind of see who reports to who, at least at the current time, how things are set up in each department in the city. So we just wanted to provide those to you. We told you that we would get those most current ones and give them to you as a resource. And then, you know, maybe once a year when these get updated, if there's changes to position control with the budget process, we'll do a swipe through with updates and provide them back again to the commission. Happy to answer any questions.
I personally appreciate that because I've been
Mhm.
kind of trying to figure it out. So it's really nice to have that.
Especially with all the
paper.
changes.
Appreciate it. I know that.
The public works and utilities, it's even confusing to us sometimes.
Well, it was just hard to hear, this is becoming this, and
Yes.
there were so many changes, but this was,
Yes.
thank you for putting this together.
Yes. Those are just receiving reports or receiving information. There's no
Yeah,
action to
yeah.
be taken.
Well, thank you for that. That was a lot of work, I'm sure.
Well, thank you to Stefan Mercer, who's our management assistant in administration. He kind of coordinated with all the departments and put them together.
Put it all together.
Yeah.
Good, good. All right. We'll move on to new business. We've got job descriptions. salary ranges and employee reclassifications relating to the new engineering job series.
So you can see by the items in the packet tonight, there was a couple items that we were working on during our labor negotiations process. And so this engineering job series staff report is a product of those efforts to update and bring current our engineering classifications. The main genesis behind our efforts in this area and why this was an important item to us in the negotiations process was because we were trying to address some challenges that we had in recruiting and filling vacant positions. And we wanted to make sure we were as competitive as possible when there's a limited job market of civil engineers out there. We're competing with other agencies, and we wanted to make sure our classifications were current and that we were using current job titling so that we attract people to the positions. And we also wanted to create a career ladder. That was one of the important things that Public Works Director John Dowdy, who's sitting over here, he assisted with, and really wanted to make sure that as we bring in new engineers who are recent college graduates into our organization, that we're not losing them to another agency because they have an advancement opportunity at another agency that we didn't offer. So this new structure allows somebody to come in as a junior engineer, gain a couple years of experience, advance to assistant engineer, gain some additional experience, and eventually their PE license, and then be able to advance to associate engineer. So the junior engineer is the complement of our engineer one classification that we have now. The assistant engineer is a complement of the engineer two position we have now, with the exception of the PE license. We're not requiring the PE license at the assistant engineer level. We're not requiring that till they get up to the associate level. And that's more industry standard out there in looking at comparable positions in other agencies. And then we don't mandate the engineer and training certification until they want to move to assistant engineer. So we're making it easier for someone to get in the door, and we're creating a pathway for them to work their career up all the way to associate engineer if they go out and get that professional engineering license. So that was really the reason why we did this work and why this was important to us in the process with this labor group, was to make sure that we were doing what we needed to do on management side to address this recruitment challenge and retention challenge, and to make sure we were doing the best possible to make sure that we got the right employees into the right positions and right places to be able to complete projects and serve the community. Once we get funding for a capital project or something that we're doing in the Public Works Department, we want to get it done. We want to keep it moving forward. We want to stay on track. We want to deliver that product to the community. And we have to have those engineers in place in order to get that work done. So these positions are important. The Public Works Department engineering team is currently fully staffed. So we've got every position in that department filled. We do have two engineering positions in the utilities department that we're going to use this new structure to work toward filling those positions. So we think it's really going to help us. It's going to help build our bench too for the management level positions that we have. When we have an open senior engineer, or even somewhere down the road, a city engineer, we want to be able to at least prepare our people for those management level opportunities as well. And by having this 3-tier structure, it better prepares them to move into those roles. So the job descriptions that we worked through are attached in the packet. We spent a lot of time on this with our bargaining group, so it's gone through a lot of eyes and a lot of review. And so there's a junior engineer for Public Works, and there's a junior engineer for utilities, because the work they do in the two departments is slightly different. Same with assistant and same with associate. And then we needed to address our existing employees who are holding these positions now. And we wanted to make sure that we properly place them within the right position based on their background and experience. So we're also, as a part of approving the job descriptions and the new salary ranges for these positions, the junior engineer is just moving to the engineer 1 range. The assistant engineer is moving to the engineer 2 range. The new range that we had to create was the associate, because we didn't have that 3rd level. So that's included within the report. So currently engineer one, Jose Sedano, meets the requirements to move to assistant engineer in the Public Works Department. Engineer one, Sebastian Guatron, he will just be reclassified to junior engineer. He's an engineer one now. He's a new employee on our team. So he'll remain there until he's ready to advance. Same with Jay Cantanemi in utilities. He's a junior engineer. He'll remain there. He has a path actually to an environmental engineer position within the utilities department. Julie Oates is an engineer too. She has her PE. She has been working with us for a while, so she meets the requirements to move to the associate engineer in the Public Works Department. Engineer one, Susana Ramirez, will be reclassified to assistant engineer in the Public Works Department. And then engineer one, Victor Romo, who's new to our organization, still on probation. He'll remain at the junior engineer level until he's ready to advance. So that's how we would fit our existing employees into the new structure. This is a win-win for the employees and for the organization, and we'll be able to recruit and retain solid folks as we move forward. So we're excited about getting this across the finish line. And if you have any technical questions, I'm happy to answer them, or Public Works Director John Dowdy is here and he can answer as well.
I'll just ask quick, were all these reclassifications also subject to salary range reclassification?
So like the folks that are a junior engineer that were an engineer one and it's going over to a junior engineer, it's the same level. So they're going to stay at their same salary. The folks that are moving, like Jose Sedano, who's moving from engineer one up to the assistant engineer, we're going to place him at the right step in the new range that gives him a salary increase. Same thing with Susana Ramirez and the same thing with Julie Oates.
So there was no reduction in pay for anybody?
No.
Good.
No.
And yeah, really quick, how would they advance to the next category? Do they apply for promotion or would it have to go through the competitive process?
So within these three levels?
Yes.
No, so they're flexibly staffed positions. So we have set this up to be a flex staff. So we would budget for the positions and if somebody meets at their performance evaluation, if they're performing well and they meet the requirements of the new position, then the recommendation coming from the Public Works Director over to HR would be to to upgrade the person to the next level. So we don't have to go through a whole process. We could have all associates.
So,
We
and
could have
but
all 5 people could be working at the associate level.
But that's-
everybody had their PEs.
only prompted by a manager saying they're ready to move on. It cannot be requested or prompted by an employee saying, hey, I meet criteria now. Can I
It has
move
to
up?
come as part of their performance evaluation process, and they have to be demonstrating that they can perform at that higher level.
Okay,
So the manager, the city engineer, then recommending to the Public Works Director would be saying, this person is performing at this level, they're capable of this, performing at this higher level. And so as part of their performance evaluation, we want to move them to the next level in the flex staff position.
I think we're saying the same thing. Performance evaluations are an iterative process that include the employee.
Mhm.
If the employee thinks that they're there will be a conversation, says I.
Absolutely.
Yes. Can we reassess and we evaluate? And if we.
But it has to
if
have
we
the
are in
blessing of the
agreement- If we
manager.
are in agreement, they meet the standards, they meet the requirements, meet, all of the requirements, then that recommendation will come forward to Michael.
And we asked for the input from the employee as part of our
Right.
performance evaluation process. So it could come up in that conversation, but I think as we're on approach for a person's evaluation, the manager is going to be assessing that.
and are evals do they follow a specific cycle like fiscal year, or is it based on
Based on the
the employee's higher anniversary date? Okay, so it could vary throughout the fiscal year.
And then once you upgrade to the new position with your evaluation, then you're gonna have an eval cycle for that. If most of the time it's gonna line up with your evaluation, so your date's gonna stay the same.
Mhm.
But if for some reason, there was a special circumstance, then their annual cycle could rotate or.
Okay.
A job responsibility that falls in line with their position, and you say they can all be associates, but is there a need to have them all at the associate level? When there's maybe different duty responsibilities
Mhm.
that
That's-
maybe not warrant the need for
Right,
some of
so.
them at the high level?
So in setting this up as a flex staff position, there's a blending of work that is always present within the department. So, you know, and most likely, we're never gonna have all 5 people at the associate level, but I mean, we could, but it's most likely not gonna happen. Because getting the PE license is, it's an undertaking. It's definitely an undertaking. But we could have a blending of some people at the associate level and then at the assistant level and have no juniors.
Mhm.
Would we,
Yeah.
maybe when we go out and do recruitment for a vacant position, then we'll bring somebody in at the junior level. But we could also end up bringing somebody in at the assistant level or even the associate level. So
That's neat.
it gives us flexibility.
It's a good problem to have, I
It's
think,
a
of
good problem,
everybody
yes,
Yeah.
at that level.
Yes, right. You're right.
Can I ask a question about recruitment? So because there are essentially 2 job descriptions, right? There's one for public works and there's one for utilities. When you do postings, are you posting them separate because they are specific? And so then when you do a list, you're gonna have a separate utilities list and a separate, even though maybe somebody could do either,
Either.
they're all
yeah.
gonna be on both lists.
A same person could be on both lists.
Okay.
There could be a situation where the same person is on
Okay.
both lists, and so both departments have access to that particular candidate. But we also recognize that some, especially, we've encountered this, that there are some folks that have a particular niche or
Mhm.
desire to be in one place or the other.
Mhm.
And then it's up to each department head to decide who's the best fit for their team.
I just noticed in the description, in all of them, it says, an expectation is fewer complaints against the city. To me, that just feels like, do we need to air our laundry to people who are applying for a job? I don't know. I mean, I know there are complaints about customer service and that kind of thing, but I just thought, I don't know if we
So
need,
that's been a part of our standard wording in our general requirements section of every single job
Really?
description that
Okay.
we have with
I
the
just
city.
haven't caught it
Yeah,
before.
and so,
I don't know, it just sounds kind of like, yeah, we
Defensive.
already have, yeah.
Mhm.
It, and are you gonna rate them? Well, you didn't have any complaints from any customers or,
Maybe switch it to that will lead to more satisfaction with. I don't
we can
know.
look at that in the future, but that
Right.
sentence is in every single job description.
Yeah.
It's been part of our standard general requirements for every position in the city for quite a long time. So maybe that's something Mike
Yeah.
can take a look at
it
and
just seems like it's
Because-
a little,
you want more positivity.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
gotcha.
I
I think the intention
Watch it
is,
Get satisfaction. That's a unquantifiable. And
That's
if
true.
I'm telling them something that they don't like, I can do it in a very nice way. And they
Right.
may not complain about the fact of how I said it, but they may not still like and be satisfied with the
Right.
answer. So it's a tough one.
Right, but they can maybe not complain, but they can still file a claim,
sure,
right?
anyone.
So.
It
Yeah,
just seems like we're inviting somebody into our city where we've already got trouble with tons of complaints.
No.
That's what it felt.
We're
like to me.
messaging to these job descriptions are really for employees, and these general requirements don't go into our job flyers. That's not information we put in our job flyers, but we're trying to make sure that our employees are focused on customer service, that they understand that the service that they're providing to members of the public could have a correlation between a complaint or a claim if not handled appropriately.
Right.
And so we place an emphasis on customer
Totally,
service.
yeah.
But to John's point, you could provide the best customer service out there, and someone still may not like the answer. And so, that can happen sometimes. And so, but we want to treat people with respect, and we want to make sure that we're being consistent and we're being respectful in the process.
No, I totally
Yeah.
get that. It's just, that's not what this is saying to me, but maybe it's just me.
Well, important for you to know that we don't list these out on our
Yeah,
job flyer.
okay.
This is more for internal communication within the city. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm willing to make a motion. Can I make a motion?
Yes, you may.
So I will make a motion to approve the engineering job series engineering series job descriptions for the Public Works and Utilities Departments, including associate engineer, assistant engineer, junior engineer. Approve engineering series salary ranges for the associate engineer, assistant engineer, and junior engineer. And approve the employee reclassifications related to the new engineering job classifications.
Do we have a second?
One second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay,
Great, thank you so much.
was hoping we could do it that way.
That's a good project to have checked off our list.
Okay, so
Lot of work went into that.
so you
Yes.
did the engineering,
So now we're to the Public Works.
Public
maintenance.
Works.
So in your packet, under item number 7.2 are the job descriptions for Public Works Maintenance Worker 1 and 2 and Utilities Maintenance Worker 1 and 2. And what's behind this is we have officially separated the employees, and we have moved those employees that are assigned to water and wastewater into the utilities department under our utilities operations manager. And so their jobs are either focused on water or wastewater. And then within the Public Works Department, we have two sections. We have Parks and Landscape section, and then we have another section that is streets and trees and stormwater and drainage. And so there's the job description that tracks for those employees who are in the operations division of the Public Works Department. So we needed to define those job descriptions. We needed to clearly separate those roles and responsibilities of our different maintenance workers that are now in two separate departments. And so that was also a product of our labor negotiations process with the AFSCME group. We worked through these job descriptions with them to provide clear roles and responsibilities as it relates to each of the sections. There's no change to the salary ranges that are assigned. We just needed to organize the job descriptions and the work being performed within each of the departments. And we wanted to make sure that when we wrote those job descriptions that even though we have maintenance workers in two different departments, we are one team, we are one Gilroy. And if utilities needs assistance from Public Works, they are going to step up and help. And if Public Works needs assistance from utilities maintenance, they're going to step up and help, because sometimes we need to put a bunch of people on a job to get something done, and the job descriptions allow for that flexibility and support and assistance. So that was really important to us in making sure that the job description communicated that to anyone reading it, that we are one team and we're here to help each other, but we do have some defined duties and responsibilities across the sections. And then I just wanted you to be aware that this is also a flex staff position, so maintenance worker ones can become maintenance worker twos, and we can have all maintenance worker twos if that's the situation. So once they gain some experience and they gain some required certifications, they can move up to being a level 2 maintenance worker. And then just for the commission's reference and information, as a part of our MOU that we have with the AFSCME group, there are certifications that these folks can attain. So you'll see that some of them are required parts of the job description and some of them are above and beyond. And so there's ways for them to earn extra money by getting certificates that are relevant to the work that they're performing. So that is a positive program for them. A lot of them really work hard to attain these extra certifications, and not only does that prepare them for promotion, it makes them a more knowledgeable employee in the field that they're working in. So I just wanted you to be aware that we have that as a separate part of our labor contract with this labor group. So really the purpose of this item for the commission tonight is just the job descriptions and clearly defining the roles within the Public Works Department and the Utilities Department. And I'm happy to answer any questions, and John Dowdy is here as well. John and I worked many hours on these job descriptions together and with the labor group to get these across the finish line. So we're excited to be here and have these before you tonight. So happy to answer any questions.
Anybody have any questions or?
It's good.
We have a
Is
motion.
that a motion, Commissioner
That
Mitchell?
would be a motion. Yeah. Motion to approve the job description, public works maintenance worker, 1 and 2, and utilities, maintenance worker.
I will second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, we pass.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Moving on to the full-time environmental programs analyst.
So you'll probably recall that not that long ago, we brought a part-time environmental programs analyst about a year ago to the commission for consideration because we were able to drum up enough funding to try to bring on a part-time employee to assist in the environmental programs area. But we were fortunate to receive some additional funding from Ecology and be able to upgrade this to a full-time position, which is really important in public works because we have all these different regulations that we have to comply with. And it really takes a lot of effort to document and to set policies and put procedures in place and to be able to monitor for compliance with these different regulations. And so we felt that if the position was going to go full-time, that we needed to relook at the job description because now the person's going to have full-time capacity to be performing work. So we needed to make sure we had everything in there that we needed in there. And we also wanted to make sure that it had equity with our other analysts. And if we were going to be placing it on the same pay band as the other analysts, we wanted to make sure that the requirements were comparable, the job duties were comparable. And so we have made those edits to the job description with the assistance of John Dowdy, who's here tonight. And we have an environmental programs manager that oversees this effort and program. And this will allow us to go out and recruit a full-time person to provide the support we need in this area of the city. So happy to answer any questions that you have regarding the job description and the assigned salary range, which is the same range that we have with our other analysts as noted in the staff report.
So there wasn't anybody in this part-time?
We were on the verge of hiring someone who then took a full-time job with another agency. And then we found out we were potentially getting this funding from Ecology. So we kind of pumped the brakes and then we were able to lock in the funding. So then we moved to this.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're ready to put it out
Awesome. Yeah.
for a full-time. And I don't know if I mentioned it in this other report, but Ecology is also giving us some
The
funding for the
maintenance.
2 maintenance programs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So will they liaise with the environmental programs analyst
Yeah.
around the things that they'll be
Yeah.
doing?
Yes.
But that will be under you, John?
Yeah, environmental programs comes under public works.
Manager will oversee this position
Okay,
ultimately.
John's the end of the line.
yeah,
Yeah.
but it's all under his umbrella.
Yeah.
Yes, okay,
Correct.
got it. I was just trying to,
Yeah,
This is gonna be huge.
Yeah. yeah,
It changes in your way.
yeah. And, but, maintaining the clean environments and our
Right,
storm drain
Right, 'cause
system.
nobody's paying attention to it. So,
I'll make a motion to approve the job description for environmental programs analyst and approve the salary range for environmental programs analyst.
the
I will
second,
second.
okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Right.
Thank you. One more.
Looks like all I do is do job description.
Yeah. Yeah.
It comes in a wave. You won't have to do any for a long time. Think of it that way.
Over that hill, yeah.
Need to get that.
I don't know what happened to the text of the report. I didn't notice that it didn't pull in. The system was giving me a little bit of trouble.
So what was the next?
So the next one is our part-time assistant fleet technician. The job description is attached in track changes format, so you'll see that there. But the only change that we were making to this job description is in the requirements section. So if you go to the very last page, this is a part-time position that supports our fleet division. And we were lucky enough to land somebody into this position that stayed with us for a couple of years because this was a newer position. And so when we went out the second time after that person left us because they got a full-time job, we had a little bit of a struggle in finding someone for the position. We went through a few different candidates and then ended up not hiring anybody from the recruitment. So after we were discussing the job description before we put the recruitment back out again, we just wanted to give ourselves a little more flexibility on the requirements and how one qualifies for the job. So we just decided to make it any combination of education, training, and experience equivalent to the three things that were in the job description. So if they have a little bit more in the classroom, setting and less in the hands-on, that could work. Or if they have a little bit more in the hands-on and a little less in the classroom setting, that could work too. But we would be able to assess that and determine if they meet. This is, a part-time, very entry-level position in the fleet shop. We're looking for somebody who can really just kind of do, some of the basic skills and tasks that need to be done so that our full-time mechanics who are deep into repairs and different things going on with our vehicles can stay focused on those kinds of things. And they're not worrying about shuttling vehicles or picking up a patrol unit from the PD garage that needs to be taken out to the yard to be worked on. We don't want to have one of our mechanics doing those tasks. This part-time assistant fleet technician can handle stuff like that. They can take cars to the car wash. They can go pick up parts at the store. But we can also start to train them on some of the basic things, switching out tires, oil changes, just doing some of the very basic tasks that they can build skills on and learn. I mean, that's kind of what happened with the young man who had this position with us for a couple of years. We kind of started building up his skill level and he got enough skills that and we didn't have a full-time spot. So he found a full-time spot somewhere else, but that's okay. That's not a bad thing with a part-time position. And so we just wanted to give ourselves a little more flexibility on the requirements. So that was the only change that we're putting forward.
That's,
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Is it important to keep part-time in the title of the job, like of the classification? And the reason I ask is is there ever an instance where we might grow large enough where we need somebody full-time? And so does that limit you? And then you'd have to come back and change it.
So the reason why we do that, and it kind of relates to the item that was the previous item that you just approved, is that when it's a dedicated part-time position, we know that the person's only going to be able to get so much done in a 25-hour-a-week type of part-time work schedule. If we upgrade to a full-time position, then now we're going to look at the full capacity and someone doing a full range of duties. And we're also going to be looking at our other full-time positions and where they are in the way of job requirements and where they are in the way of placement on the salary schedule. So when it's a dedicated part-time position like this, we want to make sure we distinguish that, because if this were to go to a full-time position, we might update a few things. We might up some of the requirements because we can expect more when we're bringing on a full-time person.
also change the benefit package as well.
Oh, because our part-time employees get PARS retirement and that's really, and 5 days of sick leave, and that's really it. Yeah. Yeah. So we'd at least want to take a look at it and see if there was anything that we wanted to change if we were going to bring it forth and add it as a full-time position as part of our budget and position control. But at least we have a framework.
All right, any other comments or?
I can make the motion if that's my comment.
God bless you.
I make a motion to approve the updates to the job description for part-time assistant fleet technician.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right.
I'm sorry, I don't know what happened with the report. There was a paragraph and I wrote it all out to explain it to you and
That's
it didn't pull in. It's giving me a little bit of trouble.
right.
Maybe it was a big packet.
Do we want to discuss future personnel commission business?
So these are the items that are on Michael's to-do list. I can say Michael's to-do list now. That we still want to do some work to update some of our police department job descriptions. That's, based on workload of the police department managers and supervisors and when they can fit that in. And then our finance director is taking a look at the accounting assistant 1 and 2 job descriptions. she noticed a couple of things in there that needed to be updated. So when she has time, she's gonna work with her team to put forth some updates to those. So we're just tracking them here so we don't lose sight of those.
Right, any other comments or anything anybody wants to bring up? Right, so it is 6:16 and we will adjourn this meeting.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thanks for coming.